Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Al Holland Show. For the next half hour, we'll talk University of Pikeville Bears football. It's presented by Appalachian Wireless. I'm Andrew Joyce, your host, and we come to you live from Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville as we talk U-Pike football with the head coach of your University of Pikeville Bears football team. Coach Al Holland Jr. joins us. And, Coach, tonight we'll meet a couple of players. We'll take a look at highlights from Eastern, and we'll preview Bethel. First off, we've got to talk about Eastern Kentucky University, a homecoming for you, and things look good for the Bears early on.
Sure was. It was great being back at home and, going back out on the field and getting to see a lot of familiar faces and, even some of the people in the media, doing some pregame interviews and things like that I got used to doing weekly, as during my career and things. But, we came out and fought hard early on and just fell short there in that second half, and that third quarter was tough on us. Turn the football over, and you're not going to win big ball games turning the football over.
Absolutely.
I thought the defense played solid, had some fourth down stops, created some turnovers, had a score. You get to talk to Jordan Mattingly today that got his first career touchdown, and was a neat experience for him. But, I was proud of the kids. They went out there and fought hard for 60 minutes. But, the scoreboard didn't show where we wanted to finish. But, like I tell them, don't find an excuse, guys. Let's try to find an answer, find a way every single day, and that's going to help us be successful and continue to grow and to get better. And I felt like we got better in different phases of the game, but we still came out with a lot of things we had to work on this week going into the Bethel game.
Taking on an NCAA FCS opponent, Eastern Kentucky, obviously it's a tremendous test for your team. Yep. Year in and year out, you've now done that with Eastern, with others from the FCS division. It's a step up. You've got to play a solid game.
Yep.
You've got to take care of the football. You can't have mistakes to compete against teams like that. But do you still take positives away from that?
I'll take a lot of positives out of it. Move the football up and down the field. Defense came up with some big plays throughout the game. But it makes you play faster, weeks to come. And, it's big for us. A year ago, they had a kid that was drafted in the second round of the NFL draft.
Sure.
So, they always have a lot of talent there and a lot of tradition there. So, it's good for our kids to see that and to play against some of those high-caliber kids and to see where they match up at. And it's good for them to, to help them in their career as well.
Absolutely. The Bears suffered a loss in that loss to Eastern Kentucky University. We'll talk about that in a little bit tonight because it's big for the entire season. But let's get to the highlights. In Richmond, of course, Roy Kidd Stadium, as U-Pike did jump out early on the Colonels and had some folks nervous in Richmond.
Early on, creating turnover early on in the ball game here. A great job by our guys right here. They after we got the ball first, they drove it all the way down to the 1 yard line. Sonny started off with a hot start, was 7 of 8 early on in the game here. Finding different guys, making big plays in the passing game. And a nice throw and catch right here from him to Whitmore, and Whitmore continues to improve week in and week out. Here's Bowen Smith after Sonny's injury. Comes in and first pass of the day, throws a touchdown to Anthony Brown right here. And, that was big for us, tying the ball game up right there. Jack Hopkins, senior leader right there, continuing to make big plays for us in that secondary and, the heart and soul of this defense. Jamar Kirksey with a nice run. I thought he did a lot better job this week, sticking his foot in the ground and getting north. Close to 70 yards rushing, against them. And then you had Xandre Willis with, 70-some yards rushing. So, a big day for those guys on the ground. Right here was Jordan Mattingly. You'll get to talk to him here in a few minutes with his first career touchdown. Cam Parsley creates the turnover, and Mattingly there to pick it up with the scoop and score that you work and practice every day. And, so excited there. We took that lead and, coming across the screens across the states, with us with the lead there in that first half. I thought we continued to make plays throughout the day. I had an opportunity there for another pick, but knocked the football down. We felt like we almost shut their passing game down. I think we held them to around 100 yards passing. But, they went to a little wildcat system with a kid that was a true freshman wideout quarterback kid. And, they moved the football on us and ended up having some big plays. And that's what got them going offensively. And they was trying to every which way in the world to find answers. But that's a good football team, man. and they're big and physical on both sides of the ball. But it was a good test for our guys, and I think we grew up on our offensive line playing against, 4 superior defensive linemen that they got. That a couple of those kids are possibly all conference guys.
55-14, Eastern gets the win. The Bears fall to 2-1. And back at home this weekend, Bethel University comes to town. 1:30 kickoff at the Hamley Complex. Someone that we won't see Saturday is Sonny Warren. He was injured in the loss to Eastern. Coach, talk about the severity of that injury.
Ended up having a fracture in his fibula. So, we ended up having surgery today. We'll lose him for the season, and you hate to lose your signal caller, a kid that's worked his tail off and really put in the work and was having a great season.
Sure.
Throwing over 70% of his passes completion, and that's big. And we had 2 300-yard ball games and was on track for a big one this past weekend. And but now it's time for some of the younger guys to step up. Shannon Patrick, Bowen Smith, both of those guys got a lot of reps in the game the other day. So, they'll compete, and whether we play 1 or 2 of them, whoever gets the hot hand. But they'll compete. We'll grade them out in practice all week. And, Sonny will be there to root those guys on and to continue to help them grow as well.
Absolutely. Of course, we'll talk about Bethel and what's up for the Bears as the season continues. Coming up next on the Al Holland Show, live from Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville, we'll meet a couple of the Bears players. Offensively, Jamar Kirksey. Defensively, Jordan Mattingly. You'll meet those Bears. Coach will return. It's the Al Holland Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville. It's the scene for the Al Holland Show. We talk University of Pikeville Bears football, and we'll be rejoined by the coach in just a few minutes, and we'll take a preview of Bethel coming up Saturday at the Hamley Complex in Pikeville. Right now, we step away from the coach and we meet the Bears. This guest from the defensive side, Jordan Mattingly, 6'2", 235-pound linebacker, a senior out of Louisville, Kentucky, joins us now. And Jordan, welcome to the Al Holland Show.
Thank you for having me.
Great to have you here. Before we talk football, X's and O's, let's talk Jordan Mattingly, the student athlete. What's your academic major?
I'm a business management major.
And what do you plan to do in the future?
I plan to go back home to Louisville and try and find what best interests me at home.
There you go. Yeah, in business, another Donald Trump. Perhaps a real estate man right here,
yeah.
Jordan Mattingly. Quite a linebacker. And you got your first touchdown of your career against Eastern. Scoop 6.
Yes, sir.
How'd that feel?
Oh, it felt great. It was first touchdown I've ever scored in my whole football career.
In your entire career?
Yes, sir. When I was younger, I was a little bit bigger, so
sure.
Never got to run the ball. So
there you go. Let's talk about when you were younger, your football background. Tell us where you come from, and maybe somebody that was an influence in your life football-wise.
Well, I'm from Louisville, the Fern Creek area, and I went to Louisville Male High School, and I played my 4 years there. And I would say my dad was the biggest influence. He never got shot to play college ball, but he always encouraged me to work for it, and he helped me a lot to get here.
Was he ever one of your coaches?
Yes, in Little League he was.
How tough is that playing for Dad?
He was always tougher on me than everybody else. So
who's tougher as a football coach, Dad or Coach Williams on the defensive side?
Coach Williams is a pretty tough coach, but he's a very intelligent coach, so it's a lot of fun playing for him.
And Dad, you've got to go home to after practice and the game.
Yes, sir.
Know how that goes. Jordan, of course, you've got Eastern. You're coming off that. You had a Scoop 6. You've had a great start to the season. Now you're back at home. Bethel coming up. You've got Reinhardt. And then you get into some Eastern Division opponents. What are the thoughts in the locker room for this team? Goals intact for this team going through the rest of the season?
Well, we definitely have all of our goals still to accomplish. Our main goal, of course, is finishing out the season. Definitely we don't plan on losing. We want to win a conference championship.
Sure.
So in the locker room, we're all really focused and trying to work towards that goal of winning a championship.
Coach Williams lays out goals for the defensive unit each and every week. How did the defensive unit grade against Eastern? I know you nearly shut down their passing game.
Yes, sir. We did great against the passing game. We, I believe they said we hit 5 out of 10 goals, which is a little bit below average, but it was good to be against the competition we were playing.
How do you feel playing Eastern will prepare you for the stretch run in the Mid-South Conference? You've been around the program.
Yes, sir. I feel like it was a good preparation for us because now we know what we need to work on because like our D-line coach, Coach Susi says, when you play better teams, that's when your technique is exposed more. So we were able to see what we need to work on more.
Absolutely. Jordan Mattingly, 6'2", a linebacker out of Louisville Male, and you'll see him on the turf at the Hamley Complex Saturday as the Bears host Bethel. Jordan, we want to wish you good luck Saturday and the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us. You're tuned to the Al Holland Show, where we talk U-Pike football. We'll step out, and when we return, we'll meet a member of the offensive unit. Coach Al Holland joins us again just a little later as we'll preview Bethel. The Al Holland Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless, live from Buffalo Wild Wings. Welcome back to the Al Holland Show, coming to you live from Buffalo Wild Wings. It's presented by Appalachian Wireless. We'll be rejoined by the coach of your U-Pike Bears momentarily. We'll preview Bethel and talk about the Bears' next opponent live Saturday at the Hamley Complex, a 1:30 kickoff. Right now we stay in the Bears Den, and we meet a member of the offensive unit. You know the name. You've seen number 30 on the field. Jamar Kirksey, a 5'9" senior out of Louisville, joins us now. Jamar, welcome to the Al Holland Show.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Great to have you here. Before we talk football, let's talk about Jamar Kirksey, the student athlete. What's your major?
Business management, and I'm minor in communication.
How about that?
Yes, sir.
And what are your plans for the future when you wrap up here at U-Pike?
Basically, train people. If I can't go to the next level.
There you go. So you'd like to continue playing?
Yes, sir.
And if that doesn't work out, what's your future plan?
Help people make it to the next level.
How about that?
Yes, sir.
So personal training, football training.
Yes, sir.
And you come to us from Louisville. You played at Trinity.
Yes, sir.
You played at Ballard.
Yes, sir.
And two of the big boy programs, of course, in the Commonwealth. You know about high school football. Talk about your football background. Maybe someone that was an influence in your life, someone that changed Jamar Kirksey, the football player.
My dad. That's probably the biggest influence in my life.
Yeah.
I'm saying still to this day.
Yeah.
He drives me.
Did he ever coach you?
Yes, he coached me when I started playing football at 4.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Jordan Mattingly, who was on the show, also played for his dad as a youngster. I asked him the question because he plays for Coach Brian Williams on the defensive side.
Yes, sir.
He's hard driven.
Yes, sir.
Is Coach Williams. Who's tougher, your coaches here at U-Pike or playing for your dad growing up?
I'm saying it's a tough decision.
Yeah?
I know Coach Holland. I trust him 100%. He lead us the right way.
When practice is over, when the games are over, you get to go back to the room.
Yes, sir.
Practice is over, games are over, and you're playing for your dad, then you've got to go home with him.
Yeah, he's on me.
You hear about it all night long,
yes,
the next day as well. Tough
yes,
playing for dads. I thought that might be the answer. Jamar Kirksey, of course, those are your future plans in the world. Let's talk about this year.
Okay.
This 2016 U-Pike unit, you lost your starting quarterback. What's been the mood of the offensive side in preparation for Bethel?
Well, Coach Holland's always preached the next man up. I'm saying we're going to miss a big hit with Sonny. Well, we're just going to next man up. We're going to have to draft.
Sonny is a guy, he's a guy that could run it.
Yes, sir.
And he was throwing the ball very well at the start of the season. Obviously, that changes. Next man up may very well be there. But do you feel like this offensive unit will count on Jamar Kirksey a little more in the running game now that Sonny's down?
We have a big part to fill. We're going to complete that. We're going to get it done.
Jamar Kirksey, 5'9", 215-pound running back out of Louisville, our guest on the Al Holland Show. And, Jamar, we want to wish you the best luck Saturday against Bethel. Let's have a big day, and let's have a big 2016. Good luck to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That is Jamar Kirksey, running back with your U-Pike Bears. And we'll step out and take a break. When we come back, we'll be rejoined by the head coach of your U-Pike Bears, Al Holland. Rejoins us live from Buffalo Wild Wings, the Al Holland Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back to the Al Holland Show. We're talking U-Pike Bears football on this Tuesday night. We're here every Tuesday evening at this time from Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville. You're invited to join us each Tuesday. Food specials, you'll get to come out, hang out with some Bears fans, and tonight some Bears players in the house as well. Of course, thanks to our guests, Jamar Kirksey and Jordan Mattingly, from the offensive and defensive unit. We're now rejoined by the coach, Al Holland, as we talk about U-Pike football, and we'll preview Bethel coming up. But first, Coach, Jamar Kirksey, he's a senior. He's a workhorse in that backfield, and he'll be counted on the rest of the way. With Sonny going down, I know next man up. I get that. The next guy up. But does that change your game plan any? Sonny had been very effective throwing the football. Do you rely more on the run now?
Yes and no. We got a great back in Jamar, and you got a couple other guys, Willie McLeod, Zondre Willis is really coming along. But, we got two good kids that have really worked hard. And Shannon Patrick redshirted last year, 5A Player of the Year out of Florida, out of Wellington High School, And Florida football is pretty daggone good. And you're 5A Player of the Year, that says a lot. And then Bowen Smith, great player out of South Carolina, true freshman, got up here early in July. So it was almost like he had an extra spring ahead of him because he got to go through a month of learning the plays and getting into the playbook early. So that's big for us and big for our football team. So, both those guys are going to compete. They're both going to do a great job. Just got to limit our turnovers, and get the ball where it needs to be and get it in our playmakers' hands. Let them guys make them look good. And Kirksey will take care of them back there in that backfield and protect them and help them in protections early on. And, you got to think Bethel's going to bring a lot of different things at these guys being young. So, early success, get them in some easy plays, get them into a rhythm, into the flow of the game, and let it come to them. And that's what we got to do. With
Sonny going down as the starting quarterback, the quarterback gets a lot of attention. Do you go to a two-headed monster there, or have you named a starter?
We haven't named a starter. It's an open competition, and, we'll see how practice goes. We grade every practice, every rep they take. The eye in the sky never lies. That's what I always tell them. And, we've graded them since day one of camp. And it's all in an Excel spreadsheet, and Coach Blasco does a great job with that and bringing that to me every single day and let me know where these guys stand with their footwork, with their reads, with their checks and what they were supposed to do. So we grade everything out. So that'll be a big part of it, and then I'll get a feel for it and sort of see how these guys go the next 2 days in practice. If both of them's very similar, very even, both of them will play. And somebody gets a hot hand, hey, there we go.
Bethel, of course, Saturday at the Hambly Complex. But back at home, your first Saturday game, home game this year. Bethel comes to town. What do you know about them?
Good football team. They was off this past week, so they've had an extra week of preparation for us. And, so they're going to be hungry and ready to go and get back after it again. Long trip for them as well. But, they are off to a 2-0 start. They're going to run power football. Then they're going to try to spread you out and get their athletes in space as well. But they're going to be big and physical on both sides of the football up front. They're going to look massive. Again, it's another football team that's big on that offensive and defensive line.
Sure.
But, we got to shut that run game down and make them one-dimensional. But their quarterback is playing really well this year. He tries to get out of the pocket and make plays with his feet as well. Defensively, they're going to put some pressure on us. And, last year, it took us a while to get going offensively when we played them at their place. But we finally got some points going and generated as the game went along. So, we got to take care of the football. We got to be sound in special teams. We had some special team hiccups this past weekend and some things that can be very easily prevented. So we got to get back on track this week.
You had several turnovers against Eastern. How much of that was the Colonels? How much of that was your starting quarterback goes down, you've got younger guys getting reps, and how much of it was just the Bears shooting themselves in the foot?
Well, I think it's just us shooting ourselves in the foot, and I'll take blame for the quarterbacks, and that's some of my responsibility. Probably shouldn't have put them in some of those positions. Trust them a little more than probably what we probably should have had early on, and but we'll bounce back from that. We know better than to turn the football over. You got to sometimes eat it, throw it away, throw it in row 6. Let's live to play another down.
Sure.
Not give them confidence, and so we'll bounce back. Ball security is a big thing that we're going to preach and practice every single day. And as I always say, ball security is job security. And if you take care of the football, good things are going to happen. And first downs equal touchdowns.
Yeah, turnovers hadn't been an issue for the Bears prior to that, so I would imagine it's not a concern for you heading down the stretch. Bethel Saturday at the Hambly Complex. We've talked about Sonny Warren. Obviously, you've lost your starting quarterback for the year. What's the other injury report? Other Bears banged up? Anyone out or questionable this week?
Matt Benson went out of the game with a concussion. He's day-to-day. So as protocol goes, as the training staff, he does his testing, we'll see Torian Brown He did his testing today. Should see him back into practice again tomorrow. Didn't play the second half the other day. So, both of those guys, hopefully we see them back this weekend with us as well. But, I feel good and feel confident about both situations.
Coach, I know you want to encourage Bears fans to join us
yes.
every Tuesday here at Buffalo Wild Wings, but also Saturday at the Hamlet.
Something new I'm starting to do now. Tonight we had our defensive backs come out. Each week I'm going to bring a different position group out here, them and their position coach, and come to spend some time with each other and some camaraderie within the football team. And then, I get to spend some extra time with them after the show, also along with our 2 players. But then, this weekend's a big home game at 1:30. Looking forward to a big crowd. We had a great one on the first home Thursday night game, and we're expecting a big crowd on Saturday. And I would encourage everybody to be out there hour and 45 minutes before the game. Be out for the tailgating with the Bears. Create us a little tunnel as the guys get there, and let's create a bear walk every week and some kind of new tradition here at U-Pike.
Absolutely. Let's do it, Coach. Good luck Saturday against Bethel. Coach Al Holland, head coach of your U-Pike Bears, as the Bears will host Bethel University Saturday, a 1:30 kickoff at the Hambly Complex in Pikeville. Get there a couple of hours early, tailgating at the Bear grounds, and be there for the Bear Walk to encourage this team as they look to go to 3-1. We'll be there live on Z1075 beginning at 1:15, and we'll be right back here at Buffalo Wild Wings next Tuesday night. For Coach Al Holland, Jordan Mattingly, and Jamar Kirksey, I'm Andrew Joyce. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.